In my hands today, I have the all-new TaylorMade SIM2 driver. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk you through all the technology that's packed into this new club head. I'm going to talk you through the all-two drivers in the lineup, the SIM2 Max and the SIM2 Max D. I'll tell you how they differ and give you a good idea of which one might be the best fit for your game. I'll also run into how these drivers performed after taking the SIM2 and SIM2 Max out on the golf course and testing using my SkyTrack launch monitor, so I can flash some numbers up on the screen, give you an idea of the performance that's on offer. And I'm also going to run you through how TaylorMade went about redesigning its drivers from really the ground up, a complete reconstruction to chase a different area of performance. They're prioritising a different area of performance with SIM2, and it really shows out in the golf course. But I'll delve into that more a little bit later on in the video. First off, if you're new to our YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button below, give us a thumbs up if you enjoy this video, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Now, the first thing you'll probably notice with the SIM2 drivers is this forged aluminium back ring. In that blue colourway towards the rear of the golf club, it certainly stands out. I think it looks pretty smart. But this is a technology we've never seen before from TaylorMade. But they say it was crucial in allowing them to unlock their design methodologies, really design the SIM2 in a different way from anything they've done in the past. It's made from lightweight forged aluminium. It's also CNC milled, and it is basically the linchpin within this design. It holds every other component together, and as I say, it allowed TaylorMade to go down a completely different path of design to try and get more performance for you. You'll also notice that for the first time we have a full carbon fibre sole panel. Now, carbon fibre technology is nothing new to TaylorMade drivers, but it's been most commonly seen within the crown. We have it once again within the SIM2. We all know what this does. You know, it's 6-ply carbon fibre crown, very lightweight, allows the engineers to remove weight from up on top and then reposition it lower and further back within the golf club to get the CG where they want for maximum distance and forgiveness. With this sole panel, it's a little bit more durable. It's a 9-ply carbon fibre crown. After all, it's going to go through a little bit more punishment, more interaction with the turf. And TaylorMade, it's a very similar story in the sense that it allows them to take weight out of an area where they don't really want it, and then they can reposition it in this big inertia generator to produce more forgiveness. As you can see, it weighs 16 grams, this back weight. And we also retain what made the Sim driver so popular, that asymmetric sole design to try and give better aerodynamics, give you some free club head speed in that last portion of the downswing. So that's why we still have the Sim name, because we have that, pretty unique and asymmetric shape on the sole. But with that carbon fibre, as I say, it's just allowed them to free up more weight to put it where they want to try and get more performance. You'll also notice that we don't have any movable weight technology within the sole of the SIM2 like we saw in the Sim. Instead, we have this stationary TPS screw that TaylorMade say has been positioned to produce the kind of launch and low spin characteristics that better players, high swing speed players want. And then that TPS screw has been adjusted within the models to try and cater for different kinds of golfers. So although we don't have adjustability in the sole, we still have the adjustable hosel, so you will be able to dial this driver in to suit your needs. We also have the speed pocket technology. We all know what that does. Try and give you, more speed and especially more consistent speed, greater forgiveness on miss hits low in the face. Now, the final piece of the puzzle with the SIM2 is the new face design. We have, you can't see it here, but under the hood on the reverse side of the face, TaylorMade have been able to CNC mill their face in a pattern that matches up with their twist face technology. Basically, they're saying that, you're going to get greater ball speed out the middle. We would expect that from TaylorMade. They're all about trying to give you as much distance as possible. But with their CNC milling pattern, they've also tried to deliver more consistent speeds from low heel to high toe. The areas of most common miss hits, something we saw introduced with twist face, but now they're just going that step further by CNC milling the back portion of the face. Now, what that CNC milling has resulted in is the removal of the speed ports, speed injected speed ports on the face, and now we just have one individual port within the toe. TaylorMade say they can achieve the same speed injection process, the same high COR ratings for every driver with just that individual screw, that individual port now. Now, the only reason why TaylorMade was able to achieve all these things, the CNC milling on the back of the face, the carbon fibre sole panel, and that huge back weight, is because that forged aluminium ring, it holds the entire design together. And it just allowed the engineers to go about designing their drivers in different ways. Next up, the SIM2 Max. Now, as you can see, we actually have a larger back weight this time, around 24 grams. Now, this is just going to be even more user-friendly than the SIM2. It's going to be a bit higher launching, it's going to cater for such a wide range of golfers. You'll probably see some tour players use it, but any golfer could get the most out of this driver. It's going to be incredibly forgiving. The TPS screw is moved slightly again just to try and produce higher MOI, give the kind of launch conditions that players who gravitate towards the Max would expect. Now, the third driver within the line, I don't have it here with me today, is the SIM2 Max D, the draw model. And TaylorMade say they've made some really big improvements with this draw design. They say that oftentimes a draw driver can maybe sacrifice in terms of forgiveness by placing weight in the heel of the golf club. It just means that you're not getting it lower and further back to produce high MOI readings. But they say they've unlocked the design of their draw driver to try and give you as much MOI, or near enough as much MOI, as the SIM2 Max, while still delivering that draw bias. For those of you who struggle with a slice, it's going to help you just try and correct your mishits, but it's not then going to sacrifice in terms of the forgiveness levels. It's also worth mentioning that the face has gotten larger in all three of these designs. With the SIM2, it's about 15% larger than the SIM, which I think is a good improvement. It was something when you set it down behind the ball, it did look like quite a small, shallow face, so it's just going to inspire a bit more confidence. And then with both SIM Max models, the face is about 5% larger, so just visually, it looks like a more forgiving, easy to hit driver. Using Pokemon golf balls, I tested both the SIM2 and SIM2 Max at 9 degrees of loft and using the same Kurakage 60g X Flex shaft. First off, you'll notice that the speed on offer is absolutely incredible. For me, generally I'm looking at about 110 to 111 club head speed, but I'm getting 113 with the SIM2. Now, I did feel really good today when I was testing. I felt like I was really on it, but it's not really a great surprise to see this thing deliver a lot of club head speed. That shape and motion, that asymmetric sole design, it's designed to give you some free club head speed on the last portion of the downswing. So, the confidence I had today coupled with this aerodynamic design just means that I'm getting tons of club head speed, then tons of ball speed, 165, 164 respectively for the SIM2 and SIM2 Max. Just tons of speeds. It's the consistency of that speed on offer that really stands out. It's the slight mishits heel and toe that just retain the speed so brilliantly. That'll be the work that TaylorMade's done to improve the MOI, but also the CNC milling on the back of the face just means that I'm getting tons of speed. The differences between the two models aren't really all that surprising. As you would expect, the SIM2 Max, it's the slightly higher launching, higher spinning option. It's going to be a bit more user-friendly, a bit more forgiving, probably suited towards more of you watching this. Whereas the SIM2, it just suits my game, quite a high swing speed player. It's giving me the launch conditions that I really look for. But both over 300 yards in terms of total distance, creeping up towards that 280 mark in terms of carry. Just, absolutely phenomenal numbers across the board, and really consistent during the testing, just consistently high club head speeds, consistent launch angles, consistent spin rates, and just giving me really solid carry and total distance numbers. Now on to the most important thing, how I got on out on the golf course. And given what I've just shown you with those numbers, it will come as a little surprise to hear that I got on really well with both the SIM2 and SIM2 Max. The work that TaylorMade have put in to increase the forgiveness and MOI levels really shows out on the golf course. Compared with the Sim of last year, a very fast, powerful driver, had a killer combination of high launch and low spin. It was a real distance machine. If I was to nitpick with that driver, I would say on your worst days, it wasn't the most user-friendly. But when you compare that with the Sim2, just the added level of MOI, the work that TaylorMade have done to try and increase the size of that sweet spot, it really shows, the consistency of the speed, the spin, the launch, everything just means that your mishits are that little bit straighter. And you do feel as though, that sweet spot's huge. You can't miss these things. So really impressed with the forgiveness levels, that boost in forgiveness. And that's something that, TaylorMade, I would generally associate TaylorMade with speed, distance. So to see them try and chase greater forgiveness, to try and help you that little bit more off the tee is really pleasing to me. In terms of the looks, I think this is, it's a very TaylorMade looking driver. It's very modern. I think it will be for some of you, I think you'll love the look of this driver. Some of you might think there's a wee bit too much going on in terms of the design. Certainly down at address, I think it looks fantastic. That black satin carbon crown, that chalk white section towards the leading edge, it just looks fantastic. It looks like a TaylorMade driver. Plus with that blue, forged ring construction towards the back when you're looking down on it, I just think it looks really smart. Yes, we've got quite a lot going on in the sole, but that carbon fibre, it's just something a little bit different to what's out there at the moment. So some of you might love the look of that, some of you might not. I think the fact that we don't have any adjustability features with the SIM2 will probably go against it for some of you, but to be honest, how often do you really adjust your driver once you've been custom fitted for it? I'm guessing not too often. And by removing those adjustability features, that adjustable weight, it just means that TaylorMade were able to increase that forgiveness levels, free up more weight. It allows them to make their drivers more forgiving, and that's what we all want. We want forgiveness, we want user friendliness, we want to try and find some more fairways. In terms of the sound and feel, it sounds very much like a TaylorMade driver over the last few years. Because there's so much carbon within this head, it's quite a low muted thud down at impact, which I really like. I don't think many people would dislike the sound of these drivers. You just feel really solid, and as I say, that low thud down at impact, just really fantastic. As the numbers showed earlier on, the SIM2 was the model for me. The slightly lower launch, lower spin and flatter trajectory on offer just suited my eye and suited my game perfectly. With the SIM2 Max, it's going to be the one that most of you will gravitate towards. Just so easy to launch into there, very user friendly, forgiveness levels even greater than the SIM2. Just that slightly larger footprint as well down at address, just to give you that level of confidence when standing over a tee shot. So yeah, this is just, it caters for just about every type of golfer. And then you have that Sim Max D, where TaylorMade say that, you're getting just about the same level of MOI and forgiveness as a Sim Max, but crucially, that draw bias that you need to try and fix your slice. So, I think what really stands out is that TaylorMade are chasing forgiveness more so than anything with these new SIM2 drivers. And what it has resulted in is a driver that's really the complete package. It's offering tons of club head speed, tons of ball speed, consistent launch conditions, and then giving me the forgiveness. And it all results in plenty of distance and hopefully some more fairways found. So impressed all round with what was on offer with the SIM2 drivers. If you have any questions about them, then just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you've enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and thank you very much for watching.